Let's talk about one of the clearest signs that someone doesn't truly care about you. Their actions never match their words. You'll notice it in small, quiet inconsistencies. They say they miss you, but they don't call. They say they value you, but they're always too busy. When you need them, they promise effort, but what you get is the minimum. It's not that they're incapable of caring. It's that you're not their priority, and their behavior keeps telling you that. The hardest part isn't seeing it, it's accepting it. Because once you do, you can't unsee it. We live in a world where words are cheap and availability is everything. Anyone can say, I care. It takes no effort to type that, to say that, to rehearse that. But care is proven in presence, not promises. It's shown through consistency, not convenience. If someone truly values you, you'll feel it, not because they're perfect, but because they show up even when it's inconvenient, when they're tired, when it's uncomfortable. That's care. The people who don't care about you won't make time. They'll make excuses. And the excuses always sound reasonable at first. Work's been crazy. I've been meaning to call. You know, I care about you. I'm just bad at communication. These lines are emotional camouflage, words used to cover the absence of real effort. The human mind wants to believe them because believing feels better than facing the truth. We rationalize neglect because we don't want to admit we're being neglected. But the truth is simple care that costs nothing means nothing. If it doesn't demand consistency, sacrifice, or accountability, it's not real care, it's performance. It's someone playing the role of who you wish they were, not who they actually are. And here's where the psychology gets deep. When we care deeply about someone, our brain attaches to potential, not pattern. We remember the good moments and emotionally invest in the idea that those moments define the relationship. So when that person starts fading, we don't want to let go. We tell ourselves they're just busy, stressed, distracted. But every time you justify their distance, you teach your nervous system that inconsistency is normal. You begin to associate love with waiting, caring with chasing, and connection with uncertainty. That's how emotional dependency grows. There's a powerful lesson here. People reveal what they value by what they maintain. If someone never checks in, doesn't remember details that matter to you, or only appears when they need something, believe that behavior. People don't forget those they genuinely care about. They prioritize them. When someone repeatedly fails to do that, you're not being too sensitive for noticing, you're simply acknowledging reality. And sometimes the people who don't care about you still want to keep you around. Not because they value you, but because they value the benefits of your presence, your attention, your validation, your emotional labor. You become a source of comfort they can tap into when convenient. They breadcrumb you. Little bits of attention here and there, just enough to keep you emotionally invested, but never enough to make you feel secure. It's not care, it's control. And it works because you're still hoping they'll finally see your worth. But you can't convince someone to value what they've already decided to take for granted. You can't teach effort to someone who only shows up when it's easy. The truth is, people who don't care about you will always expect you to overextend yourself, to forgive easily, to wait longer, to keep understanding their lack of effort. They'll train you to settle for the emotional crumbs they offer while you starve for consistency. You don't owe anyone endless understanding when their behavior keeps hurting you. You don't have to keep giving chances to people who keep showing you they don't care. Boundaries aren't punishment. They're protection. They protect your peace, your time, and your emotional clarity. And let's be honest, when someone truly cares, you don't have to question it. You feel safe. You feel considered. You don't walk away from interactions feeling smaller or unseen. You don't overthink every message or replay every silence. because consistency breeds calm and care breeds clarity. There's something deeply empowering about choosing to believe actions over excuses. It takes courage to look at someone you care about and say, I see what you're doing, not what you're saying. It takes strength to accept that not everyone deserves access to your heart just because you love deeply. And that's not coldness, that's maturity. That's emotional intelligence. Most people confuse love with endurance. They think caring means tolerating disrespect, staying loyal to confusion, or waiting for change that never comes. But genuine care isn't about endurance, it's about reciprocity. It's a two-way current. When it's only flowing one way, that's not connection. That's self-neglect disguised as loyalty. So if you're watching someone repeatedly fail to show up and you keep giving them the benefit of the doubt, stop. Step back. Observe. Because when someone values you, they don't make you guess. They don't leave you wondering if you matter. They make sure you know. If you've ever caught yourself defending someone's absence, they're busy. They didn't mean to forget. They're just going through something. Pause and ask yourself, when was the last time they showed up without an excuse attached? When was the last time they put in effort without you asking for it? That's your answer. When people care, they show it. They check in, they remember small details, they listen, they make time even when it's inconvenient. When they don't, they make reasons, elaborate stories to keep you around without having to invest emotionally. And the truth is, you already know who those people are in your life. You've felt it, the disappointment, the one-sided effort, the emotional fatigue of constantly justifying why you're still there. It's not that you're weak, it's that you're loyal. But loyalty becomes self-destruction when it's given to the wrong people. You deserve relationships that don't leave you questioning your value. You deserve people who mean what they say and follow through. You deserve peace, not constant emotional guesswork. And sometimes the most powerful act of self-respect is simply to stop explaining what someone's already shown you. Because the truth doesn't need defending, it needs accepting. So if you remember nothing else, remember this: people who truly care make you feel valued. People who don't make you feel optional. Don't mistake convenience for care. And don't wait for someone to change when their actions have already spoken clearly. Stop explaining patterns that hurt you. Believe behavior. Walk accordingly. That's not indifference. That's self-respect. Let's talk about something more subtle. Something most people don't see until it's already done damage. The quiet ways people who don't care about you begin to undermine your worth. It's not loud, it's not obvious, and that's what makes it so effective. You don't wake up one day suddenly questioning your value. It happens slowly through small, consistent dismissals that tell your nervous system you don't matter as much as you think. It starts with tone. The way they respond when you share good news, that faint pause, that quick shift to their own story, that little smirk disguised as a joke. You tell them about something you're proud of, and instead of celebrating you, they minimize it. That's nice, but anyone could have done that. It's not that big of a deal. Or worse, they stay silent as if your success inconveniences them. That's not care. That's quiet competition. Then it moves to the emotional space. When you're hurt or frustrated, they don't validate how you feel. They roll their eyes, change the subject, or call you too sensitive. And because you care about them, you start questioning yourself. Maybe I am overreacting. Maybe I should just let it go. That's how it works. They make you doubt your own emotional reality, so they never have to be accountable for how they make you feel. It's not love, it's subtle manipulation. Psychologically, this is powerful because humans are wired for connection. Our brains mirror the emotional tone of the people we spend time with. If someone keeps sending you signals that your feelings are excessive or your voice doesn't matter, your self-concept starts adjusting to fit that environment. You start to dim yourself, talk less, feel less, expect less, not because you want to, but because you're adapting for survival. That's what emotional erosion looks like, not destruction, erosion, a slow, invisible loss of confidence over time. People who truly care about you don't play games with your worth. They don't make you feel like you have to earn their respect every day. But people who don't care, they'll keep you off balance because an uncertain person is easier to control. If they can make you question your intuition, they can make you tolerate their inconsistency. If they can make you believe that asking for basic respect is too much, they can keep offering you the bare minimum and still look like they're trying. And here's where it gets even deeper. The most dangerous part isn't what they do, it's what you start doing in response. You start defending them to yourself. You start editing your behavior so they'll approve. You start performing for peace. Every time you shrink to avoid conflict, you reinforce their power and weaken your own. That's not compromise. That's self-betrayal dressed as patience. You'll notice people who don't care about you use humor as a weapon. They'll throw jabs in public, small, cutting remarks masked as jokes. You call them out and they laugh. Relax. I was just kidding. But humor that hurts isn't humor. It's disguised hostility. And when you let it slide, they learn you'll tolerate disrespect if it's wrapped in laughter. They learn your silence is permission. They'll also manipulate your empathy. The moment you confront them, they'll shift into victim mode. Suddenly, you're the problem. You're so negative lately. You're always finding faults. I can't do anything right with you. That's emotional reversal, turning your awareness into accusation. It's designed to keep you apologizing for your own clarity, because if they can make you feel guilty for seeing the truth, they never have to change. The philosophy behind this is simple: indifference thrives where accountability dies. When someone truly cares, they hold themselves to a higher emotional standard. They care about how their actions impact you. But when someone doesn't, they care only about comfort, their own. They'll twist, deflect, minimize, and blame, shift to keep it. And you'll start to notice that every conversation that should bring resolution just brings confusion. That's not miscommunication. That's control. Think about the way they handle your boundaries. When you say no, they take it personally. When you express discomfort, they act offended. When you need space, they call you distant. People who don't care about you will always make your boundaries look like betrayal, because boundaries expose what they've been benefiting from, your lack of them. And yet, the hardest part is admitting that someone you care about might not care about you the same way. It challenges your belief in fairness. You think, I wouldn't do that to them, so why would they do it to me? But care isn't mirrored. It's revealed. Some people only value you when you're serving their comfort. The moment you require depth, presence, or accountability, their interest fades. That's why awareness is power. Once you recognize this pattern, you can't unsee it. You start noticing how you feel around them, anxious, guarded, drained. That's your body telling you the truth your mind keeps trying to ignore. The human nervous system doesn't lie. If you walk away from someone consistently feeling smaller, that relationship is not healthy. And understand this, people who genuinely care about you won't make you compete for their attention or doubt your significance. They'll create space for your emotions without making you feel guilty for having them. They'll celebrate your wins without turning them into a comparison. They'll be consistent even when life gets complicated, because that's what emotional maturity looks like: the ability to care without controlling, to love without diminishing. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You don't have to shrink your personality. mute your needs, or tone down your emotions just to keep someone comfortable. The people who deserve to stay in your life will never ask you to become smaller to fit inside their limits. And if someone constantly does, that's not a relationship. That's a warning. It takes strength to walk away from subtle disrespect. It's easier to leave the loud forms of mistreatment, the yelling, the obvious betrayal, because they're visible. But it's the quiet kind, the kind that disguises itself as normalcy, that keeps people stuck. Don't wait for someone to break you completely before you realize they've been chipping away at you slowly. You deserve people who see your worth without needing reminders, who listen when you speak, who protect your name when you're not in the room, who don't confuse your calmness for weakness or your empathy for permission. Real care uplifts you. It doesn't drain you. It challenges you without cutting you down. It makes you feel safe enough to grow, not small enough to stay quiet. So pay attention to the patterns, not the apologies. Listen to the tone, not just the words. Watch how they treat you when you're not useful to them. That's where truth lives, in the in-between moments, the silences, the small choices that reveal what you really mean to them. Because when someone genuinely values you, you don't have to chase respect, earn affection, or guess your place. You just know. It's steady, it's clear, it's mutual. And if someone keeps making you question your worth, it's time to stop questioning yourself and start questioning their place in your life.